Hi, welcome to ShowMeTheCurry.com. I'm Anuja.
And I'm Hital. And today we're making Dal Dhokri or Dal Dhokli, however you want to say it. But this is one of those recipes. It's fantastic if you have some Gujarati Dal left over. I think this is probably where this recipe originated. You have some dal left over and you got to use it up. It's great. But you know what is such a great recipe that we're going to make it from scratch, even though we don't have any dal left over. So it's a pretty simple recipe. Let's get started.
And here we have half a cup of toor dal that we washed really well and we soaked it for 30 minutes. Now we did have the luxury of soaking for 30 minutes, but if you did not or do not have the time, you can still wing it. So it's been washed and soaked for 30 minutes and it's been drained. So here's just the dal. To this we'll add 2 tablespoons of raw peanuts, 1/8 teaspoon of methi seeds or fenugreek seeds, and 2 cups of water, fresh water. And in case you did not notice, this is a pressure cooker. I forgot to mention that. And we're going to close it, turn it on a high, and we're going to allow it to whistle 2 to 3 times. And here's the reason why we do it. Even though after the first whistle, the dal will be done, but we need it to be mush. So hence the extra 2 whistles.
And also, if you didn't get a chance to soak your dal, go ahead and let it whistle for 5-6 times. You basically just want to completely pulverize that dal.
Right.
So that's for the dal. Now we're going to work on the dhokri or the dhokli. And what that basically is we're making like a spicy chapati dough. And instead of roasting that on a tawa, we're going to be cooking that in the dal. So basically, that's what dal dhokri is.
Yummy.
So here is 1 cup of chapati flour or whole wheat flour. To this, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of chickpea flour or besan, 1/4 teaspoon of ajwain, 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1/2 teaspoon or to taste red chili powder. And we'll mix this up really well. And add 1 tablespoon of oil. And mix it again really well. We have a 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons of warm water. We're going to add it a little at a time and make a stiff dough.
Okay, 3 whistles, turn it off, and let the pressure go down by itself.
So anyway, this is a stiff dough, and the reason we want to keep it like that is we should be able to roll this without using any additional dry flour. And if you have it really loose, then it's hard to do that.
And like we do with all doughs, we're just going to add just a few drops of oil, smear it on top so it doesn't form a coating, and cover it and allow it to rest for about 20 minutes. So the pressure has gone down on the dal. Let's have a look. Looks perfect. We'll just take a whisk and just basically just smash it down. It's already so soft, so just mixing it just smashes everything down. And we're going to move it to the side. And we're going to start working on the seasoning for the dal. Now I have 1 tablespoon of oil and 1 teaspoon of ghee over here, just to give it the flavor. And we're going to put it on medium heat and allow it to heat up. And once the oil is hot, we're going to add a 1-inch piece of cinnamon stick, 4 cloves, 1/2 teaspoon of mustard seeds and allow them to pop, 1/4 teaspoon of ajwain, and 1 dry red chili, 1/4 teaspoon of asafoetida or hing, and 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric powder.
We have 1 sprig of curry leaves, 2 teaspoons of crushed ginger, and green chilies to taste.
And mix.
And 1 cup of peas. Now the peas are a completely optional step. If you don't like peas, you can leave them out. But, you know, why not have a 1-pot meal?
Yes, and it provides such a beautiful color. Just cook the peas for about a minute or so. And we're ready for tomatoes. Now this is 1 large tomato that we've just chopped. Mix it. And we're ready for the dal. Mix. And to this we'll add 5 cups of water.
And and 2 teaspoons of salt or to taste, 2 tablespoons of jaggery, and 1 tablespoon of tamarind pulp.
And to this we'll add half a teaspoon of red chili powder or to taste, 1 teaspoon of garam masala, 1 teaspoon cumin powder, and 2 teaspoons of dhania powder or coriander powder. And mix and allow it to come to a boil. So it's started to come to boil. Look at it.
Now you didn't have to cover it, we just covered it because it comes to a boil faster.
Yes. And mix it. So we're going to reduce the flame to like a medium or a medium low. Basically you don't want the boil to stop. You want it to carry on boiling while we work on the dhoklis.
So our dough has been resting all this time. And we're going to give it one more knead. And we're going to divide this into maybe 3 or 4 big dough balls, and it all depends on how big your rolling surface is. If you have a really big rolling surface, you could just roll out this whole thing, or ours is a little bit smaller. So we're going to divide this into about 3. So once you've divided this dough ball out, just make sure it's a nice smooth ball. Flatten it out. And we're going to put a few drops of oil on here just so it doesn't stick, and it helps us remove it later. And we'll roll this up.
Now the thickness is supposed to be like thinner than chapati, so like very, very thin, because I think because of the moisture it's going to thicken up, so you want it really thin.
Okay, so this is rolled out. We have a very sharp knife. We're just going to cut these into little diamonds. And really you can make them as big or small as you like. Turn it at a 45-degree angle. Now our dal is still boiling, and we're just going to pick these up and just drop them in. Try to drop them at different places so they don't all pile on top of each other.
And they don't stick, yes.
And I'm going to start with the next one. This all needs to be done pretty fast.
Alright, once all of the dhoklis are in there, it's still on medium heat. What we're going to do is we're going to cover it and allow it to cook for approximately 30 minutes, and we'll keep stirring it in between just to make sure everything is okay.
So it's been 30 minutes, and our dhokli looks great.
Yes, smells, it's thickened up quite a bit. You know that half cup of toor dal. Feed a family of 4.
Now the cooking time, I'll have to mention that cooking time will depend or vary a little bit based on how thin or thick you rolled the dhoklis. So if you rolled them a little bit thicker, it may take just a little bit longer, and the best way to find out if your dhokli is done is just to pull one out and try it. If it tastes really raw and doughy, then cook it for a little bit longer, and if you need to add just a little bit of water, you know, for that cooking time, extra cooking time, then that's also fine. But keep in mind that the texture of this is doughy. You know, it's a dumpling type thing, because it's dough that's cooked in a liquid. So the texture, if you're not familiar with it, it's supposed to be a little on the doughy side. It shouldn't taste raw though.
And we're going to add some lemon juice to taste, and we're ready to serve.
So it's amazing to think that the dough actually cooked for half an hour in that liquid and didn't fall apart. So one of the things that really helps those diamonds to stay in shape was that 1 tablespoon of besan. That little bit of besan really binds that dough together and keeps the shape. But anyway, it's ready to serve. This is an optional stuff, but it's fantastic. You can take just a little bit of oil or ghee if you'd like, and just drizzle it over the top at the time of serving. And it makes all the difference. It tastes wonderful.
Wow.
And we'll put a few cilantro leaves.
And dig in.
We're ready.
So this is pretty much like a one-pot meal, like I think Ethel mentioned earlier. So you really don't need to serve it with anything else. You know, it's just pretty much like soup. Just dig in and just enjoy.
But we can't tell you how hearty it is. It's one of those rustic, home kind of meals that just makes you all happy and warm inside, and it's pretty nutritious.
Yes.
So enjoy your Dal Dhokri and join us again on another episode of ShowMeTheCurry.com.
Adding a pinch of spice to your life.